first battle you face in any situation is not with the other person, not with the environment, not with the problem itself. It is with yourself. The moment something unexpected happens, your body will try to betray you. A spike of adrenaline, a rush of heat, a tightening in your chest, an urge to react immediately. This is the trap most people fall into. They take the bait of their own emotions, and in doing so, they hand over the advantage before the real game has even begun. Think of the mind like a fortress. The stronger the walls, the harder it is to breach, but most people leave their gates wide open the moment they feel threatened. An insult comes, they answer without thought. A challenge arises, they rush into action without calculation. This is not strength. It is weakness wearing the mask of boldness. True power is not shown in how fast you can react, but in how slowly you allow yourself to be moved. When you let the first wave of emotion dictate your behavior, you make yourself transparent. A sudden flare of anger tells others they've found your trigger. An anxious glance signals you are unsure. Even a slight change in tone reveals that something has unsettled you. Once they can read you, they can lead you. You become predictable, and predictable minds are easy to corner. This is why your first duty in any situation is to regulate your internal temperature before you do anything else. Regulation does not mean suppression. You are not pretending the emotion isn't there, you are bending it to your will. When you feel the heat of anger, you must imagine lowering a lever inside yourself, cooling it until it becomes fuel for strategy instead of an uncontrolled fire. When fear appears, you slow your breathing and allow your face to remain neutral, not because you feel nothing, but because you understand that appearances are part of the battlefield. That brief pause before you respond is where all your power hides. It is in that silent gap that you assess what is happening, decide what you want the outcome to be, and choose the words or actions that will bring you closer to it. This is the realm where amateurs lose themselves and masters take control. Most people live without ever finding this gap. They jump from feeling to action like a spark leaping to dry grass. They burn fast, and they burn out. You must train yourself to expand that gap until it feels natural. When the heat rises, slow down. When the room gets loud, get quieter. When the other person pushes for a fast answer, give a slow one. This deliberate control over your tempo unsettles those who depend on your impulsive reaction. They will begin to overthink, to wonder if they have miscalculated, to doubt their own approach. Doubt is the silent ally of the composed mind. Projecting coldness in the face of heat is a weapon in itself. When everyone else is rushing, your stillness becomes a mirror that reflects their chaos back at them. They grow aware of how frantic they look, how desperate they sound, and in trying to mask it, they reveal even more. The calmer you appear, the more others will unconsciously adjust to your pace. This shift in rhythm is how you begin to control the room without saying a word. Do not imagine that this skill will come to you in quiet moments. Calm under pressure is forged in pressure. You must expose yourself to tension, to chaos, to discomfort, until your mind treats it like background noise. Arguments, negotiations, moments of public scrutiny. These are not interruptions to your peace. They are the gym where your composure is built. Each time you resist the pull of a fast reaction, you strengthen the habit of control. The man who has mastered this appears almost unnatural to those who haven't. His voice does not rise, his hands do not shake, his eyes do not dart. He listens when others interrupt. He pauses before he answers. He moves as if the storm around him is irrelevant. This is not because he feels nothing, but because he has made the choice to feel on his own terms. Emotions are no longer his master. They are tools he keeps in reserve. When you walk into a room and hold your own temperature steady, you send an unspoken message. You cannot be rushed, you cannot be provoked, and you will not be moved until you decide to move. In that moment, you become the fixed point others must navigate around, and the one who remains fixed while the rest of the world shifts will always decide the terms of the game. In moments of tension, appearances are more powerful than the truth. You may be calculating every move, measuring every possibility, and assessing every threat. But none of that should be visible. The world should see only stillness. This is not because stillness is a virtue, but because it is a weapon. A calm exterior is the most effective camouflage for the sharpest mind. It keeps others guessing. It forces them to waste their energy trying to read a face that tells them nothing. And, in their guessing, they reveal far more than they intended. When others look at you, they must not be able to tell if you are winning or losing, confident or uncertain, pleased or dissatisfied. The moment they can read your emotional state, they can anticipate your decisions. And if they can anticipate your decisions, they can weaken your position. This is why the art of appearing calm, even when your mind is in rapid motion, is not a suggestion. It is survival. You are not simply hiding emotions. You are shaping the battlefield by controlling what others think you feel. This control of appearance is most critical when you are under pressure. In negotiation, the other side will try to provoke you into showing your hand. In conflict, your opponent will search for a reaction that signals you are rattled. In leadership, your team will watch your demeanor as much as your words. If they see panic, they will panic. If they see steadiness, they will steady themselves. This is why you must become a master at projecting calm, even in the moments when the stakes are at their highest and your mind is working furiously to find the path forward. Calmness is not the same as passivity. You are not frozen, nor are you indifferent. Beneath the still exterior, your thoughts are moving like the gears of a finely crafted clock. You are weighing options, predicting responses, and arranging the pieces of the game in your favor. But to the outside world, there is no sign of this. Your face remains composed, your voice even, your body unshaken. The less you give away, the more they must guess. And the more they guess, the more mistakes they make. Think of how predators in nature operate. The most dangerous ones do not rush. They do not growl before they strike. They remain silent, their presence almost unremarkable, until they choose to act. The prey's imagination fills the silence with uncertainty, and uncertainty leads to hesitation. In human interactions, your calm serves the same purpose. The other person begins to wonder if you know something they don't, if you have an advantage they cannot see, if they are walking into a trap they cannot identify. The longer you can maintain this unreadable calm, the more control you gain over the pace and direction of the interaction. People tend to adjust themselves to the energy they encounter. If they approach you with aggression and find only composure, they will often soften. If they approach you with urgency and find unshaken patience, they will slow down. Without realizing it, they start to move according to your rhythm instead of their own. And when they are moving to your rhythm, you control the game. This skill requires discipline because the instinct to reveal yourself is strong. You will want to show excitement when something benefits you. You will want to show displeasure when something goes against you. But both are weaknesses in disguise. The moment others can link their actions to visible changes in your demeanor, they learn how to manipulate you. They know which buttons to press to make you smile, which to make you flinch. This is why the greatest advantage is to make them believe you have no buttons at all. Practicing this begins in ordinary situations. When you receive good news, respond with measured acknowledgement instead of open celebration. When you face an inconvenience, address it with a steady tone instead of irritation. When someone attempts to provoke you, give them nothing. Over time, this restraint becomes second nature, and in high-stakes situations, it will protect you without conscious effort. The key is to remember that people rarely react to what you are thinking. They react to what they believe you are thinking. Your calmness shapes their belief. They may think you are unmoved because you are confident, or because you are unaware, or because you are far stronger than they expected. It doesn't matter which conclusion they reach, because in all of them, they must proceed cautiously. That caution slows them down, clouds their judgment, and gives you the space to maneuver. When you appear calm while your mind is calculating, you create a layer of separation between your inner world and the outer one. That separation is where you operate without interference. Others are left to fight against the image you project, while the real battle, the one in your head, is yours alone to win. In every struggle, there is a rhythm, a push and a pull, an exchange of moves and counter-moves. The impatient man breaks this rhythm not by mastering it, but by stumbling into it too early. He lunges before the opening is real, speaks before the silence has done its work, decides before all the pieces are on the table. Impatience is not just a flaw in character, it is a surrender of control. The man who cannot wait gives himself to the timing of others, and in doing so, he forfeits his advantage before the battle truly begins. Patience, in contrast, is the quiet edge that cuts deeper than speed ever can. It is the refusal to be drawn into the pace set by another. When someone demands an immediate answer, you wait. When they want to provoke you into action, you stay still. When they try to force you into their timing, you remain on your own. This refusal frustrates them, unsettles them, makes them wonder if you are simply too confident to rush, or if you have something waiting for them they cannot see. Either way, you are controlling the game by refusing to play at their speed. The truth is, most people are addicted to quick results. They mistake movement for progress. They cannot sit in uncertainty without trying to break it. This is why patience works so well. It exposes the desperation of those who can't stand the wait. They show their cards, reveal their intentions, and in their hurry to resolve the tension, they make mistakes. They become sloppy, predictable, and vulnerable. All you have to do is keep the pressure steady and let time do its work. Patience is not inaction, it is deliberate positioning. While you are waiting, you are not idle. You are watching for patterns, gathering information, and calculating the exact moment when a move will have the greatest impact. A delayed action, when placed perfectly, has more force than 100 hasty ones. The longer you wait, the more leverage you gain, because the situation matures in your favor while your opponent tires themselves out. Consider the way a skilled hunter waits for the perfect moment to strike. The prey moves closer unaware. The hunter does not rush, even though the opportunity seems near. He waits for the exact angle, the exact distance, the exact second when the strike will be unavoidable. In this stillness, he is not passive. He is tightening the noose, reducing every possible escape until the prey has none. Patience allows for precision, and precision ends battles before they begin. This same principle works in human interactions. In negotiations, the one who can remain silent the longest often wins the best terms. The other side will rush to fill the void, to break the stillness with concessions or explanations. In arguments, the one who holds back their reply gains the power to choose exactly when and how to land their point. In leadership, the one who waits before making a decision gathers more information, sees the situation from more angles, and avoids mistakes born from haste. The difficulty of patience is that it requires you to resist the strongest human urge, the need to relieve tension. Waiting is uncomfortable, not because it is hard in itself, but because it forces you to live with uncertainty. But uncertainty is where control is born. Every second you can stand in it without breaking gives you an advantage over those who can't. They will try to drag you out of it with pressure, manipulation, and provocation. They will demand answers, create false emergencies, and question your resolve. None of this matters if you do not yield. Training patience is not simply about enduring long stretches of time. It is about holding your position under pressure. Start with small acts of restraint. Delay your response when someone pushes for one. Wait to make a purchase you feel compelled to make. Hold back from jumping into a conversation the moment you have something to say. Each of these moments strengthens your ability to wait when it truly matters, when the stakes are high, and the temptation to act too soon is overwhelming. The power of patience is that it shifts the balance of control. Those who cannot wait begin to orbit those who can. They pace, they press, they push while you remain fixed. Over time, they will start to react to you instead of the other way around. Their pace will falter, their confidence will crack, and they will adjust themselves to your timing. In that moment, the battle is already leaning in your favor because they are no longer operating on their own terms. Patience makes others feel the weight of time while you remain untouched by it. It allows you to outlast resistance, to let opportunities ripen until they are undeniable, and to ensure that when you do act, it is not merely to respond, it is to decide the outcome entirely. Calmness is not built in quiet rooms. It is forged in the noise, the disorder, unpredictability that makes most people lose their balance. Anyone can appear composed when the air is still, but the moment pressure rises, their hands shake, their voice cracks, their decisions become frantic. If you want true mental power, you must train in the exact conditions that make others unravel. You must step into the storm so often that it no longer feels like a storm at all. Chaos is not your enemy, it is your training ground. Each time you expose yourself to it, you strip away another layer of weakness. The man who only practices calm in controlled conditions is like a soldier who only trains on a parade ground. The first real battle will shatter him. You must go where the tension is thick, where emotions run high, where the unexpected strikes without warning. In these environments, your task is simple: slow your breath, sharpen your focus, and refuse to match the chaos around you. The mind adapts to what it experiences repeatedly. If you avoid discomfort, you teach your mind to panic when it arrives. But if you deliberately place yourself in situations that test you, a heated negotiation, a confrontational conversation, a high-pressure deadline, you condition your mind to operate as if nothing unusual is happening. What once spiked your heartbeat becomes familiar. What once triggered impulsive reactions becomes just another moment to navigate with precision. This is not about recklessly seeking danger, but about strategic exposure. The more you confront chaos, the more you discover that it has patterns. Noise has rhythms. Tension has cycles. People under pressure behave in predictable ways. Once you begin to see these patterns, you are no longer reacting blindly. You are reading the situation like a book you have studied 100 times. And when you can read chaos, you can control yourself within it. One of the most important skills you gain from training in chaos is the ability to separate what is urgent from what is merely loud. In turbulent situations, everything seems important, everything seems immediate, and this illusion is what drives people to rash decisions. But when you have practiced staying still in the noise, you can see through the urgency. You identify the few things that truly matter and ignore the rest. This clarity is impossible for those who have not been tested. They will chase every sound, react to every provocation, and exhaust themselves before the real challenge even begins. Training in chaos also conditions your body to obey your mind under stress. Adrenaline has a way of taking control, tightening muscles, shortening breath, and narrowing vision. Most people mistake this for readiness, when in truth it is a loss of control. By repeatedly putting yourself in situations that trigger this response, and then practicing calm within them, you teach your body to remain under command. Your breathing stays slow, your voice stays even, your hands remain steady. The physical signs of panic vanish, and with them, any signal to others that you are unsettled. This form of training cannot be rushed. You begin with moments of controlled discomfort, small but real challenges that push you slightly beyond your comfort zone. Over time, you increase the intensity, the unpredictability, and the stakes. In each scenario, you measure your success not by whether you win or lose in the external outcome, but by whether you keep your internal state steady. Even if the situation turns against you, your mind remains unshaken, your strategy intact. Eventually, you reach a point where chaos no longer feels like a threat. It becomes simply the environment in which you operate. You no longer burn unnecessary energy fighting the noise. You conserve it for decisive action. You can move through heated arguments, shifting alliances, and rapid changes without losing your center. This is the point at which others start to notice something different about you. They cannot understand why situations that break others leave you untouched. They sense you have an advantage, but they cannot name it. What they are seeing is not luck or natural temperament. It is conditioning. You have trained your mind and body to function in the very situations that weaken others. You have turned chaos into silence, not by eliminating the noise, but by mastering yourself so completely that the noise has no entry point into your mind. In this state, you do not merely survive disorder. You thrive in it, using it as a backdrop against which your calm becomes impossible to ignore. Power belongs to the one who can remain steady when the world is shifting. The ability to stay calm is not a passive gift, but a deliberate discipline. A choice made over and over until it becomes instinct. It begins with mastering your own inner temperature, so you never surrender control before the real battle starts. It strengthens when you learn to appear unreadable, keeping your calculations hidden behind a surface of stillness. It sharpens when patience becomes your weapon, forcing others to exhaust themselves while you wait for the perfect moment to act. And it becomes unshakable when you train in chaos until the noise feels like silence. The man who holds his composure in every situation is not just difficult to defeat, he is impossible to predict. While others are consumed by emotion, reacting to the pressure around them, he moves on his own terms, at his own pace, toward outcomes he has already chosen. This is the cold law of mental power. The less you are moved by the moment, the more you control it.